Ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Alright, so Mission Tristan here today, doing some jiu-jitsu here at Derby City MMA. And coming in, we're doing this trip. Just want to get some feedback about how things have been here, how it was with lockdown, you know, what's changing, what feels good, what feels weird, all that sort of thing.
Well, there's a lot to unpack. So we did our lockdown. We closed the gym down about a week before it was mandated by the state, just because for me I was concerned for the students. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but it looks kind of bad, so let's just be on the safe side. We closed down about a week before. And then after that, you know, once everything started to kind of come back around, I was lifting in here, and we would have people come in sparingly to lift or something like that. But once the hard restrictions were lifted a little bit, we started coming back to training. I mean, there's still an element of we don't know what's okay, what's not, you know, but we take as many precautions we have, keep class sizes really small, make people schedule in certain, like if they want to come today, actually schedule them in, and it's not just open like it normally is, and keeping the classes sort of broken up, so we typically don't have classes. Like usually when we would have classes, it would be bumping, and we'd have like the whole gym full, you might have 100 people in here, right? Whereas right now you'll have like basically 10 at a time, and that class is gone, then we have another 10 come in, and it's getting cleaned in between. But for me, I think honestly, you know, all that stuff aside, all the sort of stuff that you have to do, the logistical stuff, I think the biggest thing for me is that I'm one of those people like where this becomes my kind of social outlet. Okay. Yeah. So like when I don't know about you guys, if you're watching, you do jiu-jitsu, like this is where I come together with people, a big wide range of people, which has kind of like we have people, the gym seriously, it's like from all around the city, every walk of life. You know, like every skin color, whatever, coming together to train. We have this common bond, and so not having that was crazy because when you watch the media right now, where they're creating division amongst people, and it's making people like just angry, and you're staring at this computer screen all day long, and you don't have that human-to-human connection, right? Like when we speak to each other, we look at each other's eyes, we see each other's body language, we have mirror neurons that sort of pick up what's going on. You don't have that. You have this artificial sort of thing going on, and everybody's just angry. Whereas then when we would come in and train, we're like, oh man, hey, what's up? And like I remember the very first day we came back to train, it was just like, it was right when the riots were beginning to start, and the protests were starting, and then some of the rioting had begun as well. And there's just all this emotion going on. We were coming in to train, and I remember like we had a session where it was like a couple white guys, Asian guy, all this stuff, right? Coming in to train, I remember afterwards we were talking, and it was just like, I mean, all of us were just like, oh, this feels good, man. It feels good to be around our people. It feels good to be around our friends that, again, can remind us that this is what's being portrayed, and this is what's real. You know, we're all kind of in this together. We're more similar than we're different, you know, that kind of stuff. And so for me, that human connection during all of it was really hard, and that's where I had to personally get off social media for the most part. I would post on it, but I didn't do much on it, you know, just because I didn't really get sucked into that, because I wanted to be around people face to face and actually talk. And I think that was the biggest thing that I missed, was the connection I had out to my friends and my training partners and everything else.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely got to be a big one for you. I was reading an article before I got here that you did about like how you don't love to be on social media too much. You're trying to get away, and like, you know, having to be away from the gym. I'm sure that was a bit harder, and trying to, you know, you gym more screen time, like you're saying.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, social media is fine. I like it when it's used for like a positive purpose, but I think that it can be hijacked, because you think about like, you know, the media, for instance. It's not a secret. Like there's no subscription models anymore, right? Like you don't pay to get your newspaper anymore. Right. So they're dealing with a situation where they have to be just like blogs, where they've got to put stuff up fast. They've got to get people to look at it so they can sell ad revenue, right? So if you're going to get people to take a look at something, the strongest emotions are anxiety, fear, anger, all these hatred, all these things like that. And so what are you going to do? You're going to put that stuff out there as much as possible, and get people afraid, scared, angry, whatever, so that they look at it, they engage, and they can sell advertising dollars. And they can also create this big. There was even a book I was reading called The True Believer. I'm rereading it right now, but it's a great book on mass movements. And they say in the book that, you know, hatred is the most comprehensive and like unifying of all like sort of mass movement techniques. So if you create a hatred towards a particular group, boom, you have an instantly thing where we can gel together, right? Like we're, you know, in 2011 and 9/11 where we got attacked, right, as a country. Any differences we had were gone. We were now unified because we've been attacked, and we had this anger towards these people that attacked us, right? And it works the same way, where if you get these people saying, well, they're saying this about you, and they're saying this about you, you create that division amongst people. And so I don't like when it's used for that purpose. But when you're using it to empower people and to help lift people up and to put something positive out there, I think it can be a really beautiful thing. I think it just depends on what your sort of prerogative is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I hope so with this, just kind of give people a little bit of see what's going on, seeing how places are coming back and are getting a chance to get together. I mean, it's been great for me personally.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, putting it out there, giving people a chance to see it and get ready. Because some people are definitely still feeling, that nervousness about coming back. And I get it. I'm like, every little bit helps in the beginning of class. People really scan, right? It's like, it's good to know. Like, this is that second where I'm afraid. I'm like, is it going to be?
Yeah,
but also, but I'd be glad to know, that it's working.
Sure. And I think, again, it's going to be scary for a lot of people coming back. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, when I first came back, it was a little, I remember, I'm sure like most people, all of a sudden, you might be like, kind of, like, is there something going on there? Like, is this a start? Because you see it all the time, but it's one of those things where, again, I think that that some of the cases are spiking up. Deaths are still trending downward, so hopefully it continues that way. I can't say that we'll be when you're watching this, maybe this has changed. But I think that, as long as you're doing your part, like, again, I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but when I go to the grocery store, I put on a mask. If I go into a place, I put on a mask. Like, look, I don't know that it's going to make the biggest difference, but I'll just do it as a precaution to try to keep myself safe, but also to make sure that I'm not bringing something unnecessary to the group. And I'll take my precautions. I don't go out excessively or anything like that, but this is kind of where I go. This is where I hang out. So this is where I hang out. And basically, I go, and it really hasn't changed it much. Like, I'm like, I don't know about you guys, I'm a social extrovert, where, like, I like to be out in particular situations. Like, when I'm being social here, I'm like a temporary, or like a half extrovert, half introvert. So I'll come out and I'm like in the gym and I'm on the videos and stuff, like, whatever, talking.
Yeah.
And then when I go home, it's like I go home, lay in a hammock, or sit on the couch and read books and just be by myself. So it's like it kind of like alternates between the two.
Awesome. Just last stuff, wrap it up. Obviously, you're on social media.
Yeah.
You do YouTube videos and all that. But if you want to throw up any links or places to reach out, learn more about Derby City, as well as anything you want to leave us with, any just generic stuff about what hopes are, mottos for the gym, anything that speaks to you.
Yeah. So if you guys are ever through Louisville, Kentucky, that's where the gym is. Derby City Mixed Martial Arts. Derby City MMA, derbycitymartialarts.com, either one of those will work. If you want to find out more about me, you can put in Jiu-Jitsu on the internet, or you can go on my website, jujitsu.net. That'll have links to everything that I have, or you can sign up even for my email list, where I send out emails and basically little articles 5 days a week, most of the time 5 days a week. And then, so I mean, those are the two things. And as far as like mottos or anything, like, no mottos, just like, just do your thing. And so thanks for coming by.
Thank you so much.
And good luck with the rest of the trip.
Thank you. Appreciate it.